Who would ever want to be a police officer in this day and age? I'm going to tell you something that somebody said to my father when he became a police officer in 1969, something that was said to me when I became a police officer in the year 2000, and something I still hear today. Who would ever want to subject themselves to the negativity, the challenges, and the constant bad press that police officers face nowadays? It doesn't matter what you do, what decision you make in a split second, it's going to be ripped apart and torn to pieces, and you're going to be torn to pieces for weeks, months, years afterward. I've personally testified at both traffic court and criminal court when I felt like I was the one who was on trial, when I was being drilled. I felt like I did something wrong. Not the person who actually did something wrong, not the criminal. I've been around police officers my entire life. My father was a police officer. My mom had 5 boys. 4 of us became police officers. My dad's friends were police officers. Their kids also wanted to be police officers. I'm telling you, my entire life. I'm sick of it. Now, when my dad became a police officer in 1969, another police officer who was retiring on their way out said to him that they would not want to be a police officer in this day and age. When I became a police officer in the year 2000, the same thing. Another officer on their way out said they would not want to join the job and become a police officer in this day and age. All over social media these days, I hear it from police officers. They would not want to join the job. They would not want to become a police officer in this day and age. So really, that represents close to 70 years of policing that somebody would say that they would not want to join the job in this day and age. So what would I say to police officers these days? What would I say to people who are thinking about becoming police officers, choosing policing as a profession? So let's look at what's changed. Back when my dad got on, they still had call boxes. It was basically, from what I understand, a pole, and they had a box on it that the police officer had a key to. There was a phone inside in case of emergency, or they needed to get a hold of the station or the main station, I'm not sure. Basically, the police officer would go to the call box, they had a key, and there was a phone line, a direct line. Now, the biggest change for me, of course, is technology. Back when I got on, they had something called MDTs, small little black box inside the car. You could run people's license plates and get some basic information back. Nowadays, they have mobile workstations. There's printers inside. Almost everything that you could do at a station, at a police station, you can now do from your vehicle. When I got on, you had to call down your report still. So basically, after a call, you'd have to go to the police station, enter in some basic details, and then get in contact with one of the report takers. And let me tell you, if you were 2 or 3 calls behind sometimes and trying to make it to the station by the end of the day, get off on time, it was a tough situation, let me tell you. Nowadays, of course, they can do it right from the car. And I'm going to say this, if you ever see police officers behind a factory or building, whatever the case is, and you see them sitting there, or maybe there's 2 cars kind of parked side by side, most likely they're doing their reports, because now they can do the reports from the car. Saves time and everything else. And truth be told, much of that can also be done by a mobile phone these days. Police can take reports, they can get the calls, they can attend a crime scene, take photos, upload it to the report instead of having SACO or a scenes of crime officer attend. They can do almost everything. And most importantly, they can check pay duties. When I got on, text messages didn't exist. There was no such thing, looking at your phone and sending a message. I remember the first text I got, looking at it, couldn't even figure out how to reply. It was from a girl, and I was driving home because that's what we did back then. And I remember it was like 20 cents or 10 cents every time I wanted to send a message. Something brutal like that. So, obviously, changes in technology. Now, of course, the classic motivation still exists for people interested in a career in policing. Many people are just drawn to policing because they have a deep sense of duty, a genuine desire to serve and protect their communities. They want to make a positive impact, uphold the law, and contribute to the overall well-being of society. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes the motivations are connected to the community. The opportunity to build strong connections with the community members. Officers have the chance to engage with residents, understand their concerns, and work collaboratively to create safe and inclusive neighborhoods, bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community they serve. Again, fantastic. Some motivations are the diversity of opportunities within the police service. It's not just about patrolling the streets and primary response. You can specialize in various areas such as cybercrime, forensics, community outreach, much more, frauds, This diversity allows officers to find a niche that aligns with their skills and interests, making the job more rewarding. I've made videos about this in the past, and I gave examples. Folks who have worked in banks have a strong interest in working in frauds, for example. And finally, maybe your motivation is that you just want to make a difference. Being a cop provides an excellent platform to make a real difference in people's lives. You have the chance to intervene in critical situations, changing people's lives, protecting the vulnerable, and contributing to the overall safety and security of people in the communities. There's a sense of accomplishment from positively impacting somebody's life that is pretty hard to find in many other professions. Now, I started this video by asking a very simple question. Who would want to become a police officer in this day and age? We hear it all the time. I mentioned before. It was said to my dad, said to me, and said to people today. So what would I say to people interested in a career in policing? What would my advice be? There's never been a better time to get into policing. There's never been a better time to become a police officer. Adapt or perish. I'm sure you've heard that before. You adapt or you get left behind. The ability to adapt, to adjust, to pivot your way of thinking and your actions, it's never been more important for survival in the modern age. And this doesn't just include policing, this includes many careers, many fields. And you probably know that. By the fact that you're watching this video right now, you've kind of figured out how to work with the times. I never would have thought. First getting on the job, I never would have thought that I would be able to so easily take a video and upload it to social media for dozens to see. Adapt or get left behind. So listen, thank you very much for watching this video. If you find this information helpful, either entertaining or educational, please consider liking and subscribing. If you want me to cover something, leave me a comment. Let me know what. I read every comment, by the way. I do reply when it's appropriate to do so, but I read every comment. So listen, again, thank you so much for paying attention to this. I really appreciate it. Be safe out there. Look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.